Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo buddhaya, namo dhammaya, namo sanghaya. So hello to all of you across the world. I think everyone is wondering if I'm okay here in Florida with the hurricane that is swirling right now. Hurricane Helena. How do you pronounce it again? Let me take a look here. Had a couple phone calls today, messages. This is how you know people care. It's when they call and make sure that, John Tidao is not doing backstrokes on 4th Street, trying to make it back to the monastery. Let me take a look here real quick. I was just going along like the hurricane didn't even exist. Hurricane Helene. There we go. So I'm safe and sound, just to let everyone know that if I get flooded where I'm sitting right here, which is on the 2nd story, that means all of St. Petersburg is flooded. So just let everyone know that I'm very restful lately, actually. You guys are well aware that at the time of this talk, just 2 days ago, I conducted ordination. And 12 hours before conducting that ordination, I was in the emergency room trying to get a workup with lab work and all these things. So obviously my body was telling me that exhaustion. You are exhausted. You need to take a break. Ordination had to take place because of the limited amount of assistant that I have this year. So I had to go up there where Travis and Jess is up there, and I have 2 assistants down here, down south. So the assistant to the office of Ajahn is scattered, and sometimes it's difficult to coordinate with all these young folks. So it had to take place in such a manner and within that short time. However, now Venerable Josh, novice, drove me up there. So I got to rest a lot in the car. And today we experienced a little bit of rain, mostly wind where I am. And for some reason, every hurricane that comes towards this way, it always steers away from where I live. I think the hurricane knows that it's bad karma to hit where Jidao is living. That's a joke. So I just wanted to make this live to let everyone know that all is good here. All is good here. Behind me are robes that have been recently donated. Most notably on my Orange Facebook account, you'll see the entire couch laid out with robes. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, like 14 packaged robes like you all have seen here. So in observance for Kathina, you all can make your donations by hitting the link tree on all of my pages. We're always short of robes, actually, because each monk or novice is assigned 3 pair of robes. And when we're traveling, we have to bring extra robes. Just because due to traveling and no access to washer and dryer and so on. I will be returning back to California in the beginning of October for another ordination, a very auspicious, different type of ordination. And perhaps she will be the first female to be ordained under this school. So my agenda is quite booked up. Tonight, I got to talk to Faisal, one of my best friends. And over the past 48 hours, I got to spend time with my cousin, Professor Andy, who I got to shadow with where he teaches at the university. It was just amazing to see him teach the way that he teaches. Everyone knows that he's like my idol, my icon growing up. Andy, back in the day, his first academic achievement was receiving the Presidential Academic Award from President Bill Clinton. And so I have been always competing with Andy. It's this fun competition that we have as cousins academically. So a lot of conversations have been in place for the both of us. And for me, I like to go back to for my master's and finish up my master's so that I can take care of my folks as Plan B. My monk life, 10 years later, it's going to have to slow down just because of the priorities to family affairs. I've learned so much over the past 10 years, and from time to time, I will make my effort to um, appear and give you all talks. But you all know that you shouldn't. Let me take a look here. You all should not look forward to in-depth Dhamma studies or Sutta studies, actually, I would say, where of which a sutta is selected and the monk go in depth dissecting, break it down for you all to understand. Every other monk out in the world does that, so I don't have to be another monk that does the same thing. My thing is Buddhist counseling, spiritual counseling, and so therefore, it's more tailored approach to meet the student where they're at and to select the sutta that is best for them. It just takes so much time. And nowadays I realize that it is time that I don't have anymore. Given the fact that my parents are aging, the way that they're aging at 74, and my mom at 65, my cousin's well in his 40, and I'm pushing 40. Quite frankly, legally, I am 36 years old. In Vietnam, I am 37 due to the Chinese calendar. However, for some odd reason, I got my years up and down, and due to being so busy, I announced that I was 38. And that is a good thing, actually. That's a very good thing, to add extra years to you. In particular, my case, and I actually believed it. I actually believed that I was 38 for a minute. 37, 38. I never actually looked into details. Someone caught that when I gave one of the videos up there. And I was like, I was born in 88. And they're like, that would make you 36. How did you put 38? And I was like, wait, hold on. And I actually had to subtract. Oh, the good part is that by adding extra years, you realize that we're running out of time. How beautiful for me to reflect. So much was done over the past 10 years as a monk, collecting so much data, understanding human behavior, understanding the behavior of all of you Buddhists, practicing Buddhists, followers, people who want to go into Buddhism, people who are currently practicing, just everything, all of the humans that I was able to encounter. So it was just, now I have a wealth of information to now write. I've been telling you all this year after year to ease you all into this, to ease you all into when times where you don't see me often, that I'm sitting and writing and will be consulting with my cousin and perhaps consulting with other professionals in the field and studying. I have so many books to read. I've been neglecting on my reading, indeed. My dad is trying to move the office to the house. We have 5 libraries. So we have 5. If I extend my arms out like this, we have 5 libraries that are just about this wide. In what do you call that? Bookshelves. There you go, bookshelves. So the bookshelves is about the entire one length to one length. So that's about maybe 5 feet each, on or about. There are 5 of those. And so the many books that I wanted to glance over, I never got to due to how busy I've been traveling lately. Everyone know that I just got back from Arizona and California, went up and down California like it was nothing. Like I'm going to like Walmart or something. $1,000 in gasoline and the expenditures in between. And we'll be going back beginning of October for ordination. So at some point, I have to slow down to look at what is most pressing right now that requires my immediate attention in regards to first and foremost my family. I think 10 years serving society nonstop. Over the past 10 years, I have been serving all of you as a monk nonstop. And so I've announced this before. Even if I stop all of a sudden right now and continue to upload, you guys would still have 4 to 5 years of uploads, um, pictures, videos, because so much content was created. What has been uploaded already only represents perhaps 20%, if even 20% of Buddhism and Buddhist contents and messages necessary for your spiritual growth. So, I just wanted to ease everyone into that, knowing what to expect. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to tell you all is that you must ask yourself, how well is things working out for you? Okay. If you've been listening to sutta studies all this time but have not engaged directly, intimately with a teacher, um, intimate means, what's going on here? Something is the live on my Red account. I'll just have to download the orange and upload it from there. Actually, I'll just share it. Yeah, there's one thing about sharing. Boom. You know, quite frankly, as humans, from a human to a human, give yourself 6 years. Hmm. 6 years. Yeah, try to reach near the stages of enlightenment within 6 years. So you have to really ask yourself, if I've been sitting there studying and listening and having all sorts of that listening, and you still behaving in your same good old days, in your same ways, in your old days, uh, old habits and stuff like that. Well, this is perhaps going to be the last year so far, and things are subject to change, that I'll be doing counseling, just because I can just imagine next year just being so hectic, just so hectic. Um, there's only one of me doing what I do, and hopefully merging with other monks will offset some of that request that you all will have. One of the concern that I have for all of you is the so rapid emergence of AI. And you ever, at the time of this talk, the iPhone 16 was released, and the commercial that came out was just really funny. It was about a girl meeting up with this guy, and she can't remember his name. So she asked the iPhone 16, who is that guy that I met last week at the so and so party or restaurant? And iPhone says, that would be Mark. So it's gotten to the point where you know, we're so forgetful that we're utilizing technologies to help us out. When in fact, everything in Buddhism is analog and, just traditional way of training your mind to be mindful, to remember to observe how your mind is jumping. And, like what I teach is journaling, going back into journaling, a pen and a piece of paper, or a composition notebook and a pen would be more likely. And now everyone is doing everything. We got these digital pens, we got these digital tablets, everything is digital. And people are not really that organized. It's very alarming to see the cohorts of generation millennial, Z's, and alphas struggling to figure out where they're at, what they're doing. why they're doing the things that they're doing. So in society, we're losing grip of it. And quite frankly, monks such as myself also have to return back to the practice of mindfulness, um, in order to sharpen our skills in Buddhism, and not, to get carried away so much of doing live streams and talk, 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 and no time for meditation, meditation, meditation. So therefore, admittedly, I have been neglecting on my meditative practices over the past couple of years, and I try to bring you all along with me when I meditate out on the beach and stuff like that, but that is nowhere near my regular frequency of meditation. I am subject to the same thing that all of you are subject to, which is the different pools in society, and the emotion, the cognition, and the perception, and the feel, everything. I'm human just like you are. I live in the same environment as you. So therefore, I also have to return myself back to my practice and sitting and reflecting, and even more so of writing, and so on. I have to be ahead of the game in order to lead the pack, in order to shepherd the pack. So therefore, I just wanted to make this announcement. Number one, to raise awareness, the kathina ceremony, the offering of robes, is coming up, and we need all of the supporters that we can get, given the fact of the recent ordinations and more ordinations to come. By the conclusion of the year, we need enough robes for all of these people who have been ordained. Um, we need supporters in the active current programs for teen suicide, cognitive behavioral therapy, and all of the students that, have constantly new students coming in, counseling services, the free counseling services for all of the affected anxiety and depression, bipolar, changes in people's lives, or people getting divorces, breakups, court, people who are dealing with court stuff, family law, criminal law, civil law. All these things rock a person's world, and they rely on the philosophy of the Buddha to understand the nature of change, the nature of suffering, the necessary suffering, and sometimes the necessary losses in order for us to grow. So, people are hurt out there, many much so. And with the most latest news and up-to-date latest news on children, how we have a lot of parents out there that have children from adopted families, from families of stepchildren, and how they are struggling to guide their kids towards the right path of education and something that is solid for the future ahead. With the most latest research, my research indicates that, TikTok does a number on them. TikTok and all of the social media does a number on our children, to where they're far away from God, far away from us, far away from their parents. They just do their own thing. Weed party, and drugs and drugs and drug, LSD, shrooms, the whole 10 yards. And parents are losing grip. So I can only imagine the type of that group growing, and how our courthouse have already anticipated the level of ignorance, and as a result of that ignorance, it will fill up the courthouses and the jails. Notice here in Pinellas County that the jails have gotten bigger and the courthouses have gotten bigger. From time to time, I visit the courthouse on cases, and I tell everyone this, that the courthouse is getting bigger. That is to alert people that the level of ignorance is growing each day. And as a result, if people don't get more wise, which is what we teach, getting more wise, then you may subject to go in there, hanging out with fools, hanging out with the wrong crowd. So therefore, I hope everyone heed my advices given in the days of yesterday, and proceeding on forward, never tired of giving more and taking less, never tired of thinking about this program, never tired of thinking about all of the monks that have been ordained and continuing to be ordained by the end of the year. Perhaps this year is going to be the last year for ordination, because it is so exhausting, understandably exhausting, as everyone can imagine on the other side of the screen. That Chidao is a one man that can do it, that just does it all. He's just trying the best that he's doing. He's trying the best that he can, just like the rest of us. And so therefore, it some of the assistant to this office are paid assistant, and therefore, when the resources come in and then when the resources run out, ever constant fluctuation of resources. So therefore, I also develop a lot of gray hair as a result of worrying about the longevity of the program. So I really hope that next year the nonprofit thing can really take off, because the nonprofit progress was inadvertently paused, because of fundings. So it's never ending with this funding thing in my monk career. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm all well and fine. There is no more detection of wind outside the window, so I'm pretty sure the hurricane has successfully passed the Tampa Bay area, and it is now within the Pensacola area. Our thoughts and prayers are with those people up there who are going to be dealing with this in the forthcoming weeks and months of rescue, of being displaced in their homes. We radiate loving kindness and compassion for those who are experiencing all of this, as this hurricane was at its category 4 when it made landfall. And hopefully it should be losing its power as it progresses through perhaps Georgia and South Carolina. So my thoughts and prayers are all with all of you. My assistant Alex lives in the Panhandle, Pensacola area, and I tried reaching him on the phone today and was not able to reach him on the phone. Alex now has a family, as a child. So he was just down here, but we were not able to see each other in time, as I was still in Arizona. So let us radiate that loving kindness and loving concern for all of those affected by Hurricane Helene. And more as it comes. I've taken a lot of videos on this phone right here. So look forward to more content on TikTok and eventually the scattered uploads across all of the social media. And try to reach out before this year concludes for counseling. Just because I can just anticipate so much changes and the rapid speed that will be moving, especially when I'm actually enrolled into the programs, the academic programs necessary for me to get my master's. That was just nonstop. I'm just trying to get my master's as fast as I can. Thank you all for understanding, and thank you so much for supporting us in the days of yesterdays and seeing all of the novices grow, smile, living, growing, learning all of the timeless teachings of the Buddha, and becoming leaders of tomorrow in serving all of you when I finally do, in fact, step down. Somewhere down the line, I have to kind of step down and let them step up so that they can practice being leaders and make the mistakes and showing the successes and everything there is to come in the Theravadan way, in the modern Theravadan way. So I look forward to seeing some of you as I travel from state to state. And, right now I'm just trying to keep an eye on my exhaustion, the change in my own body, as the Buddha told us to pay close attention to our body. It is our vehicle for enlightenment to get from point A to point B. And, as you start pushing 40, like I am, the lab work started to look a little funny. All the numbers start to change. So I'm embracing that gracefully, aging gracefully. So with all of you being so wonderful and generous, continue to be generous and continue seeing all of the novices grow and smile right before your eyes, realizing that what that giving, that expression of giving does, and how you are cultivating world-class leaders in Buddhism in the days ahead tomorrow to anticipate. So may you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. And until the very next time, take care.